Welcome to Vyapar, a show where we take a deeper dive into the journeys of entrepreneurs and the businesses that they've created. This week with me is Priyanshu Jain, founder and director at Indian Hydroponics, a company which helps farmers and passionate crop growers to transition to a soil-less farming. Something which is slowly catching on. We don't really know much about hydroponics and what's happening in the agricultural industry. So when I first spoke to Priyanshu, I thought of hydroponics as some sort of a complex machine. It turns out that hydroponic is a method of growing plants without soil, and you just use water and nutrients. And I think it's a very interesting concept. So Priyanshu, tell us something about Indian hydroponics, and why did you specifically venture into hydroponics? Why not something else? And what was the idea behind setting up this company?
Okay, first of all, thank you, Siddharth, for inviting me. And I'll start with the journey of AgriJoy. So I got an idea about when I was searching for doing something in agriculture. I always has a passion about doing something in agriculture. So when I was searching a bit about it, I got to know about hydroponics. I further deep dived into it, researched more about it, and then we started doing something in hydroponics. Then at first we thought of creating a farm of our own, which could be IoT enabled and all. But then on further research and further market analysis, we got to know that it's being done by most of the people in and around the industry. So it's pretty common. It's nothing new. Then we thought of doing something else. We were trying to iterate the business model. And after some time, me and my partner were having a discussion that there is in AmHydro, that's American Hydroponics, which is a society kind of thing, which is operating in America, which is an umbrella organization for the hydroponics. Then he suddenly talked about even Pakistan has a society, that's Pakistan Hydroponics Society, and why can't India have one? And then we quickly researched about it. We thought that there could be one, but there wasn't. So we quickly jumped into that, and that gave us a first mover advantage in the industry. And at the same day itself, we got our domain registered. We got our Instagram registered. So we thought we started doing work in that. And intent for creating Indian hydroponics was always to aggregate the industry, to be a knowledge sharing platform for AgriJoy, for hydroponics, to share knowledge and to share the content related to hydroponics to people in and around the industry. So that was always the intent.
All right, but so you set up AgriJoy and Indian Hydroponics with a way to impart knowledge about agriculture, but ultimately through iterations, I think the business model went through a lot of changes. And right now, I think you guys are actually helping farmers create their own farms. So tell us something about that. Like, what are you currently doing with AgriJoy and Indian Hydroponics?
Okay, so yeah, as you were saying, the business model got into a lot of iterations from the initial stages till now. The journey was quite an upside down journey. So from starting, actually, we thought of aggregating the industry completely. We thought of being a mediator between the customers and the vendors, because the vendors don't know customers and the customers don't know vendors, since it's a new industry. So we thought of starting with that. We thought of having some commission and some charges, the platform charges in between. But that model didn't work out because we were providing customer service at the level best from our side. But the vendors which were associated with us from the back end, they were not doing that much effort with our customers. So the brand name of Indian Hydroponics and AgriJoy was into the dark. So that's how we iterated, and when we thought of doing something of our own, then since we got a lot of knowledge and since we started doing work ourselves, we thought of doing something ourselves only, and we started providing services from our own to the customers. Even though the vendors were associated with us from the back end, but we were not just directing the customers directly to them. First of all, we were scrutinizing the customers. We were trying to get to know what the customer actually need and if it's relevant. And then if it's something beyond our scope, then we will connect them to the vendor so that the customer gets converted, the prospect gets converted at the end. So it was pretty efficient. And now what we are doing is we are trying to set up, build up farms for the people who are interested in hydroponics. Our primary goal and primary business model is to set up hydroponic farms at the commercial level, and post that we also help people in other hydroponic stuff. We are sort of a one-stop solution in the industry now.
All right. So that's a good way to appeal to the, the consumers and the buyers also. And we were talking pre-show how you told me that you had to constantly juggle between college to make this a reality, because you are in college right now. People might not be able to comprehend this, but you are just 20 years old. The maturity in your voice is not revealing that fact, but you had to constantly juggle between college and between this business to make this a reality. So what was some challenges that you came across during the initial days of AgriJoy and Indian hydroponics, and what were some struggles that you had to face to make this a reality?
So first of all, it comes to business model, because many a times a situation arrives that we have to iterate, we have to change the things, the way things were going on. So we have to, because we are constantly trying to upgrade ourselves, we are constantly trying to challenge ourselves, because we want to have at the end, we want to have a sustainable model. And so we went to many lows, but that's how Indian hydroponics came into being, because at that time when Indian hydroponics was just not being an idea, actually the conversation started with now what we have to do, because we were just getting shattered. Our business model wasn't sustainable. So immediately we got the idea out of the blue that yes, we should start Indian hydroponics, and it paid us a lot throughout the journey. So that's how ideas happen. And till now also, whenever we got any idea, we just write it down, and then after some time we analyze it. My partner Aniket, he has a very efficient model to analyze this fact, that is HEAL concept, HEAL. That's hypothesis, then evaluate, then analyze, and then you have to do the work. So it's all in Excel. We first of all write the idea in the hypothesis section. Then we try to evaluate the fact that if it's not being done before, and if it's a new thing, then we try to analyze around in and around it that yes, if we can do it, and then we try to if it crosses that third level, then we try to execute it. So that's the HEAL concept. When it comes to college, I guess pretty much in India, every student entrepreneur has to face one common challenge. That's attendance, because here 75% attendance is compulsory, right? Attendance is a major hurdle, and you have to be a very clever before venturing into entrepreneurship. And because you have to keep a balance in your academics and your entrepreneurship, you just can't keep any section behind. So you have to be clever. That's it. You can have the attendance, but you have to be clever.
And, because I remember you were telling me how you had to, because you live in Agra, your college is in Dehradun, and your business is set up in Ahmedabad. So you told me that you had to travel like constantly without a day's notice, and how that is something like that's how challenging it is. It's not just a piece of cake. You really have to keep challenging yourself, I think, because the traveling itself is a very tricky concept. Dehradun to Ahmedabad, it's not a easy journey to make.
Yeah, right. So at times there were waiting tickets, and we had to make it to the session, which actually I'm Ahmedabad called us the other day, and we had to make it to there, and there were no tickets available. So we just took the local bus. I took the constant journey of around 18 hours. It was very hectic, and then we finally reached the Ahmedabad campus. That was new campus, CIAE, and you won't believe we had the bath in the campus itself.
Oh, and wow. Damn.
Yeah. Damn. So it's thrilling at the end.
It's all about the journey, isn't it? So so there's one more thing that I wanted to get your opinion. So there's this stereotype that if you're a startup, you need funding, and this startup of yours, Indian Hydroponics and AgriJoy, is self-funded. So how did you guys raise the money to get this company off the ground, and what do you think about the entire the stereotype of getting funding to just start a business? Why can't people just bootstrap themselves?
Yeah, okay. So hey, there's a notion in the industry, specifically in the Indian startup ecosystem, that if you want to do a startup, you have to have a funding. You have to approach the VCs or the angel investors for the funding. So it's not like that. My belief is what we have learned in the constant journey of around a year or two, or year or so, that you should stay bootstrapped and you should self fund yourself, your startup, till the upper limit. When you should do that till the situation when it's like that, no, you have to seek the funding. If you have a unique idea, very unique idea, and now you think that yes, it could be very scalable, and now I have to have funding, then only you should venture into funding. Otherwise, you should be self-funded. You should bootstrap your idea. So AgriJoy started with our combined investment of 4,500 each, and it was just to create the website and to incorporate the company. So nothing else was our expense. So that's how we started.
That's amazing. I mean, just what, 10,000 rupees and you started a business. That's
Yeah.
mind blowing. Yeah. I mean, seriously. And I understand your concept. I mean, because see, I feel that, when you're taking funding from VCs and private equity firms, you're actually losing control, because right now, I think when you're starting a company, you need to be in the driver's seat and not somebody else who does not have the same level of vision. And, these investors are in it to just make the money. But I think it's more than the money. It's about, achieving something and implementing your vision. So I get the point.
Right.
Like, you should delay getting funded as long as possible. So
Right.
that's a really good concept. And so this, when we first started talking, the my focus was on Indian hydroponics, but you also have founded a company called AgriJoy, which is the
Yeah.
parent company of Indian hydroponics. So tell us something
Right.
about how AgriJoy fits into the ecosystem, and how
Okay.
what's AgriJoy's role in this venture of yours.
Okay, so the thing is, we started with AgriJoy, and AgriJoy is still the face of our startup. And Indian Hydroponics is sort of an organization that gives us scalability, that helps us reaching out to our customers. We can connect to a whole lot of bunch of people in and around the industry, whether they are whether they are growers, whether they are hobbyists, or even vendors, or the big companies. Everyone, each and around, is connected to us. Around 8,000 to 10,000 people are as of now connected to us via various platforms. And so that's how we operate. And AgriJoy is purely for business. We do all of our commercial stuff through AgriJoy only. And Indian Hydroponics is just a sub brand of AgriJoy.
All right. So it's very interrelated and interconnected, both of these
Yeah.
companies. And all right. So like we talked about before, your companies have went through a lot of iterations, because that's how it is in the startup world. Because it's not like that, you'll get one idea and it's going to be a success right on. So you have to constantly change yourself, and there are some major changes in your business strategy as well, like you told me. So tell us something about how the business model has changed since the inception of the company, and how are you able to constantly innovate? Because there must have been periods of time where you just felt really low, and there must have been low points during this entire journey of yours. So tell us about, how are you able to constantly innovate, be in that mindset of it doesn't matter if this does not work out, but we just have to constantly move on. So tell us something about that.
Yeah. So when I got to know about hydroponics, I first thought of venturing into bamboo ponics. There's a concept, bamboo ponics, in which you don't use the PVC pipes or the plastic pipes. You instead use bamboos. So I researched a lot about it. I went to bamboo farms and bamboo area where they experiment. I talked to professors, I talked to scientists about how can we make possible the constant flow of water in bamboos. So at the end, I got to know that it's not yet feasible. There need to be a lot of innovations to venture into the industry, and so the idea got shattered at the moment. And then we thought of building our own farm, as I said, and we thought of including the IoT, AI, ML, and all the tech stuff into that to make it completely automatic and all. Then we further researched about it, and then we got to know, no, it's very common concept, and you cannot venture into it just for creating a startup. So then our idea got changed, and then we thought of building Indian hydroponics, and we did some business from that also. And then again we changed to a business model to instead of just sending the customers to the vendors, why not handle them to us? So after that pandemic happened, and AgriJoy again went through a jolt. So
Yeah, that's
then because we literally stopped receiving any projects, and because people literally don't have any capital left to invest in such farms.
true.
So yeah, so we got iterated again, and then we started creating some content online and otherwise, such as ebooks and podcasts and other stuff, just to share the knowledge, just to get connected to the industry. And then we started receiving some requests and all. We conducted several workshops as well during this pandemic, which were very successful. After that, we did, since past 2 months, we are again doing some research, because we heard a statement from one of the very big VCs. He's the founder of Omnivore, who is into agri-tech only, that he said that hydroponics don't have any future as a startup industry in India. So we researched about it a lot, and then we got to know that yes, for a company like us, for the hydroponics company, you can be a traditional business, you can be very successful at that, but you cannot create a startup out of it as of now, because the industry sentiments are like that. Somewhere we got to know that even for FDI is also not allowed in this sector. So that gave us a jolt again. Then we thought of iterating our business model, and still it's on the process. Now we are trying to venture into home grower section and the traditional agriculture side. So we are trying to capture both these segments. Half of our team is working on building an application that's in its initial stages as of now, and half of the team is working on creating some model, trying to build a solution that will help the conventional farmers, the traditional farmers. So yeah, and hydroponics is there. We are not stopping hydroponics, because yes, we have gained some momentum in that also. But again, when it comes to sustainability, you have to be rough with yourselves.
That's true. But like, again, what you guys are doing is really impressive. But how do you stay in that mindset? I mean, like, talking to you, I feel that you're just so versatile and so easy to change yourself. So how do you motivate yourself? Because see, normally, like, if I'm talking about myself, if something does not work out, I'm just sitting and probably just watching movies for 4 or 5 days, and I cannot motivate myself again to do something. So how do you get in that mindset in the first place? What makes you, what motivates you?
So here the team comes in. Actually, it's a pretty normal human concept that you get disheartened easily. So that way the teams come in, and we support each other in every step, because as of now also we are going through some major iterations in our business models. So there are some low points, and there are continuous low points in the journey. But our team, my partner Niket, he's always motivating, and he always helps us in getting through the phase. And even if he is also facing some difficulties and challenges in his part, we are there to help him. We are there to support him. Ki nahi yaar, ho jayega. We will get through this. So it's just the support of each other that we get through all this.
All right. So my last question to you is, what do you think is the future of AgriJoy and Indian hydroponics? And what are some initiatives that you have in the pipeline? Like, what are some future projects that we should be excited about from you guys?
Yeah, so AgriJoy is currently into building a few farms which are coming up in 2 to 3 cities. We are excited about that as of now. And the next is, we are, as I said, we are building an application that could be a breakthrough, and we are hoping about it. We are doing our best to build that application. Then we will, then we are probably also venturing into the conventional side of agriculture, continuously in talks with farmers, in talks with other related people in the industry, so that we can try to bring out a proper solution for the farmers. Because farmers has n number of problems in their domain, but you have to start with a niche, and then you can go around. So we are excited about that, but yes, it's very difficult.
All right. And you told me that you were also venturing into fintech, right? I mean,
yeah. So that's only where we are trying to, we are thinking of venturing into, but it's still in the research stage. And we have narrowed down the idea of venturing into FinAgriTech, that's creating some financial solutions for the agriculture industry. So we are hopeful we may bring out a solution for that. And the application you can expect by you can expect the application, the alpha beta version of application by probably November end. That will be a timeline.
So what will be the role of the application? Like, what service will you be providing through that?
So as of now, we are trying to create a holistic solution that if you are home grower and if you want to grow tulsi in your house, any plant, and just say tulsi, you should not have any problem. If you want to grow your own food, you should not have any problem. Where to buy the seed? What's the pH? What should be the EC? And there will be two options: soil and soilless. Both options will be catered to, and there will be AI/ML concept at the back end, so you can directly contact us. You can have a chat with us as and when required. You can just take the screenshot, the shot of the plant getting some disease, and we'll try to figure that out also. And post that, we are also trying to have a feature wherein you can actually talk to agronomists and the hydroponicists if you require any expert opinion. So that's how we are trying to build the solution, and let's hope for the best.
That's great. And I wish you all the best, Priyanshu, with everything that you do. It was a pleasure talking to you, and all the best for your future journeys. So again, thanks for being on the show.
Yeah, again, thank you for inviting me, and hope the best for yours as well.
Thanks, Priyanshu. Thanks a lot.